Well, I'm a little late with this deck profile, but I hope you guys will forgive me. We had a power outage. I hurt my neck doing absolutely nothing. I just woke up and for like the next 4 days was in a lot of pain. But anyway, we promised an updated deck profile. We are here with that profile, and let's talk about the rationale and the reasoning behind it. Thank you to everyone who participated in our Ruling Survey 2023 edition. We had 142 responses. I uploaded the video last night of the answers, so if you want to go check that out, feel free to do so. If you want to go do it, I mean, I guess I already gave the answers, so if you really don't look at that and want to just test your knowledge, you can find it on a video before that and try it. Otherwise, just go watch that video, get those rulings, and know what you're doing. Without further ado, though, post AGOV, Age of Overload format, what are we expecting? Well, some of the main decks that I'm expecting are Rescue Ace, obviously, Pearly, Tearlaments, Unchained. You have Floowandereeze, you have Dragon Link, you have Labyrinth and Branded kind of are around still, Branded being the Chimera version more often than not. Mana Dome also seeing more play. There's a handful of decks, but I think that Unchained, Rescue Ace, Pearly, Tearlaments, and probably Dragon Link are our top 5 decks of the format, and I guess we'll see what happens, and we're going to do some videos breaking down how we beat those decks as well, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff for those. Anyway, enough talking about other videos. The deck profile, we have 3 Cyber Dragon, 3 Core, 2 Hertz, 1 Naxter. I really like this ratio. I go back and forth between 2 and 3 Hertz. I think 2 is enough. It gets the job done. 3, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to play 3, I completely understand. No gripes there whatsoever. 2 Galaxy Soldiers, pretty standard. 3 Kaiju. I like 3 Kaiju personally. I think it makes the Unchained matchup easier. I think that especially when Pearly gets Noir out, it makes that matchup much easier. It just handles a lot of matchups. It's a guaranteed trade-off versus Mana Dome and their big boards. You can pick which negate you want to get rid of. If you open 2, you might say, oh, you bricked, but you can Kaiju them, give 1 to yourself, or you can Kaiju them, fortress the Kaiju away, Kaiju them again. You can do different things like that if you open multiples, or it's also a light monster for fodder for Galaxy Soldier. So like, I want to hard open it. I know it's searchable, but I want to hard open it, so that's why I am still playing 3. Also not playing Clockwork. I've said it numerous times that Duality, Clockwork, and Machine Duplication I feel get very clunky when you play all 3, especially when you're trying to stay close to 40. I don't like it. I think they kind of conflict with what they're doing. They all kind of offer a similar path and play style. Not exactly the same, but similar, and I don't need more cards that do that. The deck already does that, I think, very well on its own. Clockwork being the one we get rid of, and when I was playing Clockworks, if you saw my last profile, I was on 2 Clockwork, 1 Duality, actually, and everyone just starts negating Clockwork, and you're like, well, if you negate Clockwork, then you can use its graveyard effect. True, but if they negate that, you just discarded 2, and yes, you force 2 negates, but you also use 2 cards to do it in a deck that's not great with resource management. So I mean, 2 for 2 trade-off is not necessarily a bad thing. However, I don't want to just play a card because it forces a disruption. Like, I'm going to use a Kaiju for that because I get to pick which disruption they're using then. And so say you force 2 disruption, but they have a hand trap. That 1 hand trap stops you. Now they still have a big board. They win the game. You Kaiju them so you can start playing. You can make a fortress. Maybe you can beat over something then before you actually start using effects and get rid of multiple threats that way while keeping the card economy in your hand, on your field, in your deck, things like that. Kashira Fenrir, just really good going first, really good going second. Obviously, it replaces itself. It's just good advantage. Again, that's what the deck needs, cards like that. Hand traps, 3 Ash, I think is absolutely standard, mandatory. I like the 2 Crow. I think it comes up a decent bit. It's okay versus Rescue Ace. It's pretty good versus Pearly. It's decent versus Unchained. It's amazing versus Tearlaments, and that is one of my most unfavorite matchups out there. So I really do like the Crow. 3 emergency, 1 repair, 3 machine dupe, the 1 overload fusion, 3 duality. I was on 2 of this initially, and then I ended up going up to 3, just because I do want to see it. No Dogmatica package, because I feel like that's definitely catered towards going first more, and I want to blind second. I want to focus on one thing, not try to do everything okay. I want to do going second really well and worry about going first post side, because in today's day and age, people just don't pick going second game 1. So even if they know what deck you're on, they usually will not do it. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that. 3 thrust. This card is absolutely insane. It can get you to talent. It can get you to feather duster. It can get you to duplication. It can get you to emergency, repair plant, or overload fusion. I thrust into overload fusion by far the most, and it's just really a feels good moment all the time. Pretty much the only card that it can't search is my duality, and that's fine by me. Post side, it also can go ahead and grab D barrier. That's why I don't mind playing just the 2 there, because we got 3 border for going first as well. 1 talent, like I said, 1 feather duster, 1 overflow. I was actually going away from maining this card, but the fact that like core dupe can be 3 disruption again was enough reason for me to put the card back in the deck. 3 infinite impermanence. Side deck, Nibiru and Droll. I think these just really hard check combo. Helps versus Flunder, helps versus so many decks. Not quite good versus every deck. That's why we relocated it to the side. But if you wanted to main even a few of them, like main 2 with your Crows, or instead of your Crows, something like that, I get it. But I wanted Droll at least in my side. Inspector border just really strong right now. It's really good. We can out our own Inspector border insanely easy because it is a machine. Or you just sit on it and you're okay with that. DD Crow, the 3rd one, just for that matchup, like Tearlaments. Spellbound card had potential right off the bat, and people were like, well, D barrier is just better. Spellbound, I think, finally found its place because there's so much interacting on your turn, so you can just kind of shut down your opponent trying to play on your turn. D barrier, then, like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory on why D barrier is there. 2 Mega Fleet, I think the second one does start to come up again once again. Not all the time, but I do like to have it. I have the space for it. 2 Fortress, we're playing the 2 Fortress. You have Infinity to absorb it. You have Anima to equip it. Like, you got multiple ways to out your Kaijus. 2 Fortress is plenty. By the time you would need a 3rd, you probably should have won or lost already anyway. 1 Rampage, 1 Twin for our duality plays. 1 Vimana, just for those really cracked hands. So you can go into things like, if you open like the perfect hand, you can have like a hand trap, Vimana, Infinity, SP, and overflow. Like, if you just open absolutely insane, it's just another negate. Pleiades was another card that I debated here, because you can actually kaiju them, make Pleiades, bounce the kaiju them. That's always fun. Then Dingirsu, just for like when you get that random Fortress Dragon that gets negated. I also am thinking about that other Zeus-like guy that was in Age of Overlord, playing him, because especially if that's 0 even, it's still your highest attack if it's 0, and you can just slap that down on top of it. Or like late game, your opponent did something, you're in a grindy game, you can just like summon any monster and then just slap that down over it. So Dingirsu highly likely will come out for that card. I can't think of the name, but it's like the Zeus-like one that just came out. It got a prismatic printing as well. All Mirage, I think we all know why All Mirage is there. That's pretty standard. Anima, the Seeger, especially like with thrust into overload fusion. Like, I've won so many games off like Seeger, Rampage, OTK. It just feels really good. SP Little Knight, it's a really good link too. It's something we've been missing again. It's multiple disruption potentially. It helps going second, helps going first. It's no Verde. It's not a Verde. I got that. But it's the best we got, and it's actually pretty decent. Working on a list where we can get back to like a 2-card OTK, trying to not play bricks with it though. Like with core and without the power bond stuff. Getting really close to like core emergency and turning that into like infinity access code talker, things like that. Like trying to find an OTK line through the 2 of them, and At the moment, if you absorb an opponent's monster with Infinity, it would actually be 8,000 exact. Gonna keep testing, refining that list down, and we will get that to you guys as well. But hopefully you like this list. Branded Cyber Dragon coming soon. You guys voted on it. We're working on it. And then after that, I got a few other variants to do. But again, go check out that rulings video if you are curious and want to see the results. Thank you for watching, and until next time, guys, take care.